design or the evolutionary design of something.
Yeah. Osmosis says, that's a really good point. I'm actually hugely focused on an environment influenced character, but didn't think of the food chain element. It's actually a story about a nearly dead world and no invention of flight, so the desert is creeping across civilization. And the more privileged part of society is closer to the remaining resources. Yeah, it sounds like you got a really cool backstory, so I think that there should be an opportunity for you to bring that into the character design as well.
Yeah.
To why is Gamora? But like uh, similar, and actually this dovetails into Ruutu, a little bit. It's like he asks, why is the Hulk green? It's like, well, the actual reason is because when Stan Lee created it, there was only 4-color printing. that's that's just the practical reason of it, and
Well,
it showed up well. But
actually, no, because originally Hulk was gray, but then they
right,
ran out of the color, and all they had left was green.
yeah,
And then
exactly.
that's actually why Hulk is green, is because they ran out of gray.
Right, but also again, gray doesn't show up really well, and so again, with 4-color printing, green does, and so
Green pops off the page.
yeah,
So
green,
Yeah,
yeah, and so I mean, say what you will about Stan Lee might not be, you know, he's a good storyteller. He knows what sells, or at least
yeah,
he had a good feel for it at least, and it's like, oh, make it great, because yeah, it's like, oh, gamma radiation turns you gray. It's like, no, gamma radiation kills you. Gamma radiation has no color. There's nothing associated with it, but yeah, people just associated green like ray guns and Martians and a lot of stuff. It was a time when things were very spacey, and anything alien from outer space was green. Green energy and everything.
Pupper
Later on,
Smurf, thank you very much.
we have uh, uh, the Scarlet Witch and other stuff, and AIM and like all this stuff. Everything also in Marvel became like hexagons at one point, and so there are these things that these trends that go through it. But yeah, no, the only reason that there's very basically, but like yeah, it is interesting that no one's asked that question. I guess I can say that they would try to avoid it because there's really no good answer for why the Hulk is green.
So osmosis with your thing, you're talking about like a desert creeping across civilization. I would probably say like depending on what your character is he one of the people living in the privileged part of society, or is he one of the people on the fringes? Because if he's on the fringes, he's essentially going to be kind of like that Mad Max kind of like his armor is going to be made from the scraps, or his protective gear or whatnot will be made from the scraps of everything he can get. Which, by the way, is always my favorite type of character to design. Mad Max making body armor out of spare tires, I always thought was genius.
Yeah, no, they do make good sandals though.
Yep, and they last a long time. You get a lot of mileage on them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that also potentially he would have some way of condensing or storing water or something like that, or
Right.
even or almost to the point where you'd have like I would like your civilization on the fringes might have things almost like the Fremen, where there's caches of hidden water in
Yeah.
places where they're trying to keep the resources from the other people, or from the rich people. So now you sort of almost have a conflict of if things start getting really bad, then people have to try to find where are these caches of water type stuff. So yeah, there's lots of different approaches you can take to your design.
Yeah.
So good luck with that, by the
Um,
way.
yeah. But back to She-Hulk. Um, I did like. I enjoyed it a lot as well. But there were some things that I noticed. I don't know if anybody else. That it really is. Um, uh, not so overt as Captain Marvel was, but there is this a lot of like if you watch if you pay close attention, Bruce Banner is very much mansplaining the whole superhero gig to her. You might not get this, but like what that we everybody we've seen it in the trailer. It's like anger and fear are the triggers for the transformation. She goes, every woman needs to deal with anger and fear on a daily basis. So, so there this whole thing about self control and doing all the stuff and balance, and then also you get to see like how again Bruce is like trying to explain stuff to Jen, that she just already knows or whatever. Like he's trying to teach her like what it is to find like balance and inner peace and breathing. And she goes, "Yes, I've taken yoga. I know how to do these things." And or he's trying to teach her how, he shows her the strength thing, but he doesn't show her how to fight. But you do see that Jen seems to have taken a self-defense class, at least one or two of them. Because she fights. She's able to hold her own against against the Hulk. Not too badly.
Yeah, I love the clapping thing.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
She can't do the big sonic clap, but right away she figures out she can do a lot. She can do a lot more smaller, repetitive ones. But I did like that one, the scene where the Hulk does his Hulk thing, and he put, like again we haven't seen since Thor, where he just like clamps him, and he punches her off of a cliff. Knowing that it's like, oh yeah, she'll be fine.
I just love the fact that when because they get in an argument and fight over Hulk
Right.
trying to explain it,
Yeah.
and
Have you seen?
because during the fight Hulk has his glasses on, they keep getting more and more damage.
Yeah, exactly. I keep on thinking. I saw that same thing, right? And I'm just like, oh, those are gonna be a bitch to replace.
Well, I was gonna say, I loved at the end of that fight, or near the end of the fight, when she throws the surfboards in his face and they finally break all the way.
Yeah.
He just takes a calm breath, pulls off the glasses, calmly tosses